Hi guys, my name is Tim and all welcome to another edition of Smelly Sweet. Today I'm gonna give you a top 10 tobacco fragrance video. It's a very personal top list, but it might give you there are some rare findings in here between that you may or may not have heard about before. I have 15 fragrances in front of me, so 5 didn't make it to the top list. The reason I call it a top tobacco fragrance video is because, pleasing the algorithm. But let's start with the 5 that didn't make it to my top list. You start with Initio Side effect. Well, if I do a video about my top fragrances, it would most definitely be in the top 10. But as a tobacco fragrance, I think there is more to wish for. It isn't because of the tobacco that I like this one so much. It has a cherry vibe. The tobacco isn't maybe the most prominent, but it is a hell of a fragrance and it does project a lot and it lasts also really good. Another one that didn't make it to my top 10 is Uden overdose. Well, there is no tobacco in it, but it has tobacco blossom. It is my scent of the day as well and I really love it, but yeah, it doesn't make it as a tobacco fragrance. Another one is Warm Black by Zara. No, I'm not sure it even contains tobacco on this one, but it's often compared to Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. So it has vanilla and it has spices for sure. And as a sheepy fragrance, I think this is a solid release by Zara Warm Black. Another one that didn't make it to my top list is Spicebomb Extreme. Now, I do enjoy it, it's growing on me, but I think it is a little bit too sweet, and I also think it is, it's not too sweet, but it's maybe a little bit too juvenile for me. I think it's more suited for someone around 20 to 25 years old. Now, the one that definitely didn't make it to my top list, and one that was exciting about, I was really excited about it, and that is Tabak from Zaharoff, with notes as rum, cognac, vanilla, tobacco. I thought this was going to be a home run, but I was disappointed. Yeah, let's stay real. I was very disappointed with this one because there are so many notes packed into it. So when you open it up, it is like the notes come forward, fighting for air, but you put the lid back on it. So it feels like it is suffocating. All those notes in here feels like it is suffocating the vanilla, feels like it is suffocating the tobacco. You feel kind of a booziness to it in the opening, but most from the opening I do get that licorice feeling. Now, the opening is the best part of this one. After that, I really don't like it. Probably going to end up on the second-hand market here in Sweden. So if you're a Swedish person and you want to try it, keep your eyes open. No, finally we can dive into this top 10 tobacco fragrances of mine. A very personal list, but we're going to dive in with one called 004 by Boom Perfumery. You have notes as mandarin, gin is listed as a note, you have musk, and it is a fresh take on the tobacco note. And without the tobacco in this fragrance, it would be a meh. It would be just another plain simple fresher, but the tobacco adds so much to this one. It adds depth, it adds maturity, it just adds all the things you need of a fresh fragrance to be worn. You can actually pull it off. We all know that freshes are easier to pull off in winter time than winter fragrances in summertime, but it does shine as well in the winter time as it does in the summertime. On spot number 9, I don't know if I talked about this fragrance before on this channel here, but I've talked about it over at Instagram, and that is Apples and Aces from Genre Parfums. Now, it has notes of cognac, rum, wine, tobacco, vanilla, but it is a red apple in here that is so amazing, fresh. It comes forward. People have asked me, is it like Angel Share? Is it like Ojan? No, it's not, because the red apple is so red appley. I don't know if that makes sense, but it is like you can taste the apple, just like taking a bite of the apple. Really nice one, great longevity, and I think it is $50 for 50 ml, so I think it is a bargain. It's a real good deal to if you can pick it up. Hard to find, but search them up because this one you don't want to miss out on this one. So spot number 8, Enigma from Roja Enigma Parfum. Now, if the tobacco note was more prominent than this one, it would end up higher up in the list, but the tobacco note isn't that prominent. But you have the amazing Coca-Cola opening, and yet again, if I did a list of my top 10 fragrances, it would be up very high on that list. Spot number 7, I guess, and we have Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Now, people often say that this is a sherry tobacco. I don't think so. I think it's more of a plum tobacco. So if you look it up on their website, you will see that there is plum. But I do get the confusion because it's kind of similar. It gives a similar vibe. But this one I think is a very mature fragrance. Not that it is old, but you feel very mature. You don't feel young and juvenile. I do think it is unisex, but I do feel like a man when I put it on. On spot number 6, we have Niche4all Tobacco Vanille. Now, this is kind of a fusion of Herod and Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. So, I'm not that keen on Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford, but I do love Herod. And you will see which one is on my spot number 1, but it has the tobacco, definitely has the tobacco from Herod. And that is why it ends up so high up, because all these 10 fragrances that I'm talking about, I really like them. I really love them, actually, all of them. Yeah, it's like choosing between my babies. But the reason it isn't higher up on the list is because of that tobacco vanille feeling from Tom Ford that I get out of it. Next up, we have the ultimate unisex fragrance, in my opinion, Naxos by Xerjoff. Now, you can't say that this one leans a little bit masculine. You can't say that it leans a little bit feminine, because this is as I said, the ultimate unisex fragrance. Tobacco leaves, very nice in here, but you also have some fresh lavender in the top. You have some sweet honey, so it mixes, combines all these typical, for me, vanilla is a typical female fragrance and lavender is a typical male fragrance, and they mix that together to be an amazing blend. I really enjoy this one as well, and you will get noticed. This is a strong projection, great longevity. I can't say it is my top compliment getter, but I do have received some compliments from it. On spot number 4, we have one of my best discoveries of actually, the three to come now. 3 fragrances to come now belongs to my best discoveries of 2021. So I could call this video best discoveries of 2021 as well. But that is Pavillon Rouge by Jovoy. Now here you have notes like whiskey, cognac, spices, sesame seeds. You have coffee, leather, tobacco. In the mid, I believe that is. And you have some ebony wood in the base here, and it's all about ebony wood, but it opens up like that boozy fragrance, and then the tobacco and leather comes in, and the tobacco is kind of lingering around the leather base, the leather note here. Damn good one. The reason this one isn't talked about more, I believe, I did a review about this one not that long ago. I believe it is because of the performance. It hasn't got the strongest projection, and it hasn't got the best longevity. 6 to 7 hours. You could expect to get out more for a fragrance of this kind, but that is the reason. But you get 100 ml. Just reapply. That's my opinion, at least. Next up, we have another great discovery from 2021. The whole brand, actually, and that is Theodoros Kalotinis Tobacco Maniac. Take the honey from Herod. No, take the tobacco from Herod and the honey from Naxos, combine them together, add some booziness on the top, and you get tobacco vanille from Theodoros Kalotinis. Yet again, longevity around 7 hours, I believe it is, 7 to 8 hours. but it's so easy to like, really easy to like this one. I would say that this one leans a little bit more masculine, but I do think that females easily can pull it off as well. Next up, we have one of my last buys of 2021, and that is Rivalite Imperial by Plume Impressions. Now, this one is a little bit more like Ancient Chair or Ojan if you would like, but it also some very big differences, I think. For instance, you do get a coconut vibe out of this one. Even if it's not a note that is listed, I do feel that I pick up on that coconut, but it also has the finest sandalwood I've ever come across. It makes it so creamy, so milky, and it almost dries down to really a gourmand vibe. But you also have the tobacco in here, maybe not the most prominent note as well, so maybe it's ending up a little bit too high on this tobacco top list, but I really do like it, so that is the reason it's up on spot number 2. A truly amazing fragrance, good longevity. I haven't measured it exactly, but I would say 8 to 10 hours approximately, and you do get a good strong sillage as well. Next up, final. At the final, can there be anything other than the king of tobacco, Herod? Now, this is kind of sentimental for me, because I do think of my grandparents when I smell it, but to me this is the best tobacco fragrance I ever come across, and considering the tobacco, if I'm only judging it by that, it must end up spot number 1. So that was all for today. I do wish that I will be able to push a little bit more for YouTube with posting a little bit more regularly than I have been doing. So stay tuned, and until the next time, stay safe and be well. Bye!